Very good evening, ma'am.
Very good.
Thank you so much, for giving me, this much of your valuable time. And it's been a pleasure that you have been uh, there, to guide us and to inspire us and inspire many people like me.
You see, yeah, on silence. Now I'm all yours. Yeah.
Great, great, ma'am. Great. So I want to give some, to the audience, I want to give some, information about you that you have been a seasoned journalist and you have been a part of this industry and with over having 30 years of experience in your personal career. It's been a great work from you. So, and our audience will love this interview probably when it will be live, when we end this. And so I think let's start. Yeah. So, ma'am, again, a special thank you for
Most good.
on Bollywood Explorer. We're a small, social media page which we started, last year, and have become our, backbone. You are the first person who, they have got the, give us the opportunity to, to join and to provide with this. So, I know ma'am, that you have 30 years of experience and you have worn multiple hats in this span as a journalist, as a teacher, and someone who deeply loves cinema.
Yeah.
And that is really inspiring, for a guy like me because I'm also a cinema buff person. And so, I would like to begin by asking you how did it all start? Like, tell us about a bit of early days in your school or college, and how you love for cinema and first took shape.
So it's a very funny and interesting story both. So when I was 3 years old, my parents shifted to a rented place, which happened to belong to the owner of the cinema hall of that town. I grew up in a very small town. So it's in Assam, Karbi Anglong, and Difu precisely. So going to the cinema every Friday became a ritual. That is how I was inducted into film. So it was all films, Bengali, Hindi, English, mostly these three languages, also Assamese. So I knew nothing except films because we didn't have television at that time. So my visual medium was only film, you know.
Right.
So that is, of course, it was very interesting that the films in that small town used to release only after 3 months of their general release. You know that at that time it was print,
Yeah.
right? So nobody could buy the print, means rent the print from such a small town.
Right.
Yeah, that is how I got my exposure. And I thought that was normal for everyone. For a long time, I thought everyone should go to for the Friday the Friday release of the film.
Right.
So that's how I was inducted. 3 years when I was just 3 years old.
Oh, great, great, great. So from childhood you have been a cinema lover.
Yeah.
So, do you prefer any specific genre or era of cinema, like the 90s or 80s or 70s? Any specific?
Hindi, see, I don't believe in era as such. Of course, there are certain eras in world cinema, the world post-World War films, and such things are there. Which see, I am not only a media, not was only a journalist, but I also am a critic of the media scenario as well as the society. So, film for me later on, when I grew up, it was more about reflection of the society.
Okay.
So, to understand the society, as I was a student of literature earlier days, so when I saw that the books were made into films, and I could see the reflection of the society, the time. So for me, those were very important. So for me, mostly, when I was growing up, I used to like the spy thrillers.
Okay.
So after a long time, I'm again coming back to the spy thrillers. So mostly either foolish shows of Nordic or Scandinavian origin, or the spy thrillers, but not of course James Bond. Okay,
Okay.
that's not my genre. I like those intricate thrillers where true crime and all those things are there. So thrillers in general, few spy thrillers which is dependent on off my head I can't remember the name.
Okay.
Like World Two and One, there were spies. So those thrillers based on their stories are interesting for me. In general, I love film. More than technology, I like storytelling.
Okay.
So it's sci-fi is not my genre at all.
Mhm.
So no, neither is what do you call it? All the horror genre.
Mhm.
Right. So this is it. But I have changed according to my age.
Yeah.
Changes were there.
So you have
So
explored many more parts of.
more or less, you suggest something, I will always look at it. And I'm very interested in docu series. The limited docu series, I'm very much interested. Documentaries is one of the genre which interests me, like because I'm a journalist.
Correct. Correct.
So the investigative part is something that I really love in docu series.
Right. Right. So documentaries are really important in our also to get more knowledge about what has happened and what
Mm.
exactly has been there.
Yeah.
So and like ma'am, so talking about the cinema, so how do you think uh, your love for cinema uh, has changed your perspective? And can you like share a movie like any kind of movie that deeply moved you?
There are many, but all of a sudden, if I say Pothir Pachali was something which really moved me. Satyajit Ray's Pothir Pachali is something that moved me tremendously, and that made me go to the book. Before that, I'd never read Pothir Pachali. Other way around, I read the book Gone with the Wind, and then I watched a film as a part of our syllabus during my master's degree. And it is very interesting because when you read a book and go to the book cannot cover everything.
Yeah.
But that was one film which had covered almost the most important part of the book. So it's that one movie did not change me, but there are multiple movies which come back to me on and off.
Right.
Whenever I feel like I go revisit certain films, very light-hearted films also I revisit.
Okay.
So, and I think that some films, like if you talk about Bollywood,
Mhm.
Wicked Honor, then Dum Laga Ke Hai, sort of films,
Yeah.
which are more or less not made nowadays. I think we should go back to those films because that is a very different implication.
Right. Right. They have different stories also. And
Piku is a lovely film. I really like Piku. So there are many multiple films. I just right now I'm remembering a few, but there are many.
right. Right.
Always, recently Adolescence, the Netflix series Adolescence, right? Absolutely beautiful series on it. Then the recent docu series called Bad Influence, it's on influencers. So too many things are there,
So, like, is that thing where the cinema thing? So, have it has like affected you, or did it has influenced your work, like as a journalist or as a teacher? Like, if you talk about the cinema.
See, I was originally a print journalist, and when we started print, there were not many, photographs on the print.
Yeah.
So I come from that non-visual text of journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So cinema made me understand the impact of visuals.
Sure.
So now it is like everything is dynamic. Even a portal of Indian Express, Times of India, Hindu, it's a dynamic portal where they have put a video there. So I have seen the change.
Right.
And as journalists, sometimes visuals work far more better than the print medium. So
Right.
you have to picture. So when you see a picture and you cannot put it on your text, you have to think very creatively to represent those photos there. So cinema did make me understand the strength of visuals,
Right.
how it can carry in few visuals thousands of words are carried.
Right.
So and then in journalism, what happens? I am doing my interpretation.
Mhm.
I'm not leaving any space for you to interpret. But in a docu series or a cinema or any audiovisual medium, I am watching it, you are watching it, 10 people are watching it. We have various interpretations. So that's the strength. As a journalist, I think that's a big strength.
And I think this has been a key in like in Bollywood particularly, I would say. So choosing different stories and getting to work with it,
Hmm.
touching roots topics. I think that is something which is getting driven by the industry and people.
Yeah,
I think that is very important because nowadays the movies which have been there, so they have less creative work or less visuals about the storytelling and everything.
of course.
I think this is where we have to focus
I agree. I agree.
like a scripting thing or like a writing thing. So like what kind of movies you have seen particularly in Bollywood, and do you think like the movies which are being made now should we continue doing making those movies in the coming years, or should we like change a perspective or a storytelling thing?
Nobody can change anything. I'm not qualified enough, or I don't have the strength enough to tell them to change. They will understand by themselves. So all the time they are the Bollywood industry or the cinema industry in Mumbai and other places. They are talking about box office disasters and all, right? Box office disasters. Producers need to take a call on it. They are trying to mimic. Most of the things are remake of some others, and not even done properly. And another challenge that Bollywood is facing is from the streaming platforms like Amazon and Netflix and this and that. So the problem here is happening is right now what Bollywood producers are also doing is that they produce and immediately sell the rights to one of the platforms. So the platform has a huge control over the content.
Right.
And we all know, and it's no hidden agenda here. They also promote a lot of their own, the entire way are coming into the influencers are coming into Bollywood.
Yeah.
And they are thinking that will attract some.
The audience. Yeah.
I think they have to learn their lessons, including Netflix, Amazon, as well as the producers, because when they are they are a number of old films have been re-released.
Yeah.
These are doing well. So don't you get a lesson out of it?
Right.
That means content is still the king.
Right.
You do whatever, content is still the king. And I think right now, see, anyway, I'm not making a movie. It's very easy for me to say a lot of things. But as a viewer, as a consumer of content, I find them exhausting. I find them exhausting. So ultimately, what's happening is that when they go to the hall, because I know they're mimicking either a Telugu film or a Tamil film or some Bollywood film, and then they're crying hard, saying that this is not making any money or something like that.
Right.
And I'm sure they will do it. They are understanding it, and they will do it very soon. There will be a change. I'm sure about it. There will be a change, definitely.
Yesterday I was watching an interview, which is of Amir Khan. So he came on a podcast there, and he was telling that why it is important to stop streaming movies, like platforms that we have. It is killing the audience. It is killing the theaters as well.
Absolutely.
and that is why I think the movie that he is being part of, it is coming directly on YouTube, and we can just buy it or rent it. So I think this is something, a change where other directors or actors should focus on.
Definitely, I agree. See, that's what I said. No? If you sell the rights from at the very beginning, people already know partnership, Amazon Prime, partnership, Jio Cinema, partnership, whatever. People already know it's coming on
Right.
on their mobiles. The worst thing that has been done to cinema is the mobile viewing.
Hmm.
It's nothing. You don't see cinema at all. How can you see Oppenheimer on the movie on a mobile?
Right.
So we have finished it off completely. Right now, what they have to do is, if it is a blockbuster, please, after that you sell the rights, but let it do the run of the halls.
Right.
Another thing that we need to do, I think the movie industry need to do, is get back to, the single screen theaters.
Exactly.
Multiplexes are something which is destroying films too, because you have to spend so much of money. Why would you spend so much of money when you are watching on Netflix? Forget about, now piracy is also not happening, because it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime after a month or so. One film recently released was within 2 weeks it's coming on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then these people cannot complain, oh, it didn't sell in no tickets were sold or something like that. These people are playing safe. They are just investing, the producer is investing and getting back the money
Yeah.
immediately.
Making profit, I think that is
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
And they are the ones who are complaining people are not coming. Stop it. Earlier, when Netflix or Amazon came, nobody sold the first rights. They did it later on. When it is a blockbuster and people are watching, then they put it on there. It's like their archive that, yes, later on someone wants to see, watch it, they can watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have to be careful about it.
Another hot topic which is there, it's been in the news. So this is like again, talking about the remake that you spoke. So people are, or big actors are doing the remakes of like a Tamilian movie or a South Indian movie or a Kannada movie, and like Sitara Zameen Par, the upcoming movie of Amir Khan. So it's also a remake of a Spanish film.
Actually, it's exactly not a remake or official remake. There's a two difference.
Okay.
It's a difference there. Official remake is if American was truthful and he bought the rights to the film.
Right.
Right? And most of the time they are making remakes without any rights. So I'm just correcting, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think like doing the remakes, or suppose a Spanish movie has different feelings and emotional things, everything, and moving creating in a Bollywood style, it has some different feelings and flavors. But people have this debate where if it is a remake, then why should you go and watch this movie? You can watch the older version and stay at home and watch it. So
I do the same thing. I do all the time. I never watch remake.
okay.
If it's an official remake, I watch the origin, never go back to it.
Okay.
I do it continuously, yes.
So is it worth to do the remakes, or we should have a genuine storytellers or script writers who can
Absolutely. India is a place of storytellers. Multiple cultures, beautiful stories. No one is going. I have a friend who is a screenwriter. I'm not naming that person. And recently he came and we had a discussion. He was telling me this. When we promote original stories, the producer is saying, नहीं, इसमें तो ये डाल दो, वो डाल दो. And in case of South Indian films, he only told me that the South Indian films, what they do is, the producer only listen to the story. They don't give input. Like, no, take this artist, take this one. They don't. They say, yeah, story sounds fine. And they pay the money and it's done. But here, if it is sold to Netflix, they will give their own dictation. If it is not sold to Netflix, a producer will tell you too many things.
Right.
real story gets lost. So everybody is trying to play safe because RRR was a big hit, right? So Pushpa was a big hit. So everybody thinks that only that will sell. I'm really sorry, people are already there done RRR and Pushpa.
Right.
Why do they want to watch another RRR and Pushpa? They will watch something else. So I think that they have no faith in the screenwriters or the storytellers.
Right.
This is the medium of the storyteller and the director. This is it. And both of them have no role.
Even the renowned director Tigmanshu Pulia, he also said in an interview that the main pillar of a film are storywriters
Absolutely.
and directors.
You know this
And everyone.
this super boy job मिलेगा.
Yeah.
हाँ क्या बोला था?
Same.
That's what writer बाप होता है.
Correct.
Because of this, we don't recognize it. This is why we are facing what we are facing right now.
Around, turning from when I visited your profile, I saw that you have a extraordinary talented son of yours, Boddhisattva Sharma, and I think I personally liked All India Rank, and he has done extremely well, in the so I went to your profile and I saw that, and how can I not take you into it, because he is a talented person, talented actor. So getting to know about him, from you, is something that I would be waiting for. So you mentioned that your both sons are a bigger film buffs that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of movie debates happen at home when you guys?
Oh, it's very tough now because my elder son is a cinematographer. Just admired his work, so he's not reached that proper cinematography. Is the second AC or first AC. The elder one, Boddhisattva is the younger one.
Oh, he's the elder one. Okay.
So elder one studied in Toronto Film School and came back. So he was very clear he wanted to work here. So both of them are initially. So I introduced them to film. So it was mandatory for us to watch one film every weekend minimum, and one film in the hall. So there was no selection. I would give them a selection. So that initially they start liking. Then I introduced them to world cinema. So we have a big screen at home. And it started with DVD and then, of course, all those things. Now it's a smartphone. So we have had this, and now they are making my life very difficult because both of them are technically far educated than me, because Bodhi is working. Tathagat has already studied and started working. So, but I really am mesmerized by the discussion. I look forward. Now they don't live with me. They are in Mumbai. I am somewhere else.
So like, any sort of point where you meet and then discuss about movies or something?
We have a con call, video con call on and off. Then I would suggest that watch this. Then they will watch and then we'll have a discussion. Who likes what? Like when we watched Adolescence, the series. So Tathagat looked at it from the cinematography perspective. Bodhi looked at it from the acting perspective, and I was looking at it as holistically. So we had a very, very healthy discussion, and it's a weekly thing we do. It's like religiously done. If they are not very busy, if they're shooting and all, then it takes some time. But otherwise, yeah, this is something we do. We love doing it. And sometimes when we were together, we used to sometimes talk through the night. Early morning we go to sleep because there are so many things to talk about.
Right.
That I miss now because they are not here.
So, like, have films helped you and your children to bond more deeply?
Oh yeah. Our bonding points are three. One is book, music, and films. Both of them are musicians as well. Bodhi sings, Tathagat also sings. They play the piano, Bodhi plays the guitar. So this is one, and I sing as well. So we also used to have a lot of jam sessions. That's one. Books is something it was it was another thing like we would discuss books, buy books, read books, and films. These are the three bonding points. And I regard myself as having two boys as my best friends. They are the only best friends I have.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's something I really cherish.
So, you mentioned about the cinema part with your son. So, like, how did he realize that he has a passion for acting, or like, do you remember the first film that really clicked him, and which led him to know that I want to be an actor?
Ranga Vasanti.
Ranga Vasanti.
Ranga Vasanti was one movie where both of them were very young,
Yeah.
but they were moved by the storytelling. They were moved by everything.
Yeah.
And I remember the elder one cried at the end of the film. The younger one was still understanding.
Oh.
And that was one film. Then, of course, Tare Zameen Par was one film that they really started getting involved. Bodhi got involved in acting by fluke, in a sense. He was doing theatre.
Oh.
So, yeah, he was doing theatre with NSD and all. And someone called the entire group of theatre, the students, and said that we are having an audition for one web series. Web series was very new. So just he went and he got. That's how it happened. So once he got into it, he has never left it. He's just into it. Yeah, since class 8. He was in 8th standard. Yeah, because he is short for Patal Lok in class 8.
Oh.
Yeah. Since then, that is what he has been doing. He's not just studying properly. He did his 10th and 12th. Now he's doing his BA.
Okay.
But I followed it.
I mean, what?
The elder one was always, he had a camera in his hand since he was 13 years old. And he understood visual language, so he picked up production because of that.
Okay. So he's also in Mumbai.
Both of them are in Mumbai. Yeah.
Okay. And had it happened where, so you mentioned that from class 8 you started doing this theatre thing. So have you ever helped him practice for auditions or?
No. He just hates me when I give him directions. He would take directions from his brother, not from me.
Okay. So like, did you give any?
I used to shoot because we had only a small camera that means mobile. Through mobile, I used to shoot. They used to do the things. And sometimes he had a problem with crying initially. Very first one to audition. Then I taught him how to cry. So how to cry on camera, on cue. And now it's fine. Now I never am a part of this. He does it by himself.
So partially initially was he shy, or he was like a?
He is a very outgoing child since childhood. Very outgoing. He used to play football. He played for Bachum Bhutia Football Club. He went to Portugal. Then he was in theatre. Then we used to do a lot of science seminar. We used to do everything under the sun, whatever is possible. Never moved outside. So he's a very outgoing child.
Right.
Yeah, that's he was never shy. Shy is the elder one that's why he likes to be behind the camera.
Okay. That is right. So, ma'am, we talked about cinema. We talked about your love for cinema. We talked about your family. Moving ahead to a serious interaction, I would know your opinion about this. So, like, how do you think cinema has influenced the society, and have movies like improved people's mindset or the society mindset that has been there? Like, do you think?
See, movie has a great impact on people. But what I have seen is that I know there was some, like when we talked about communal harmony and all, it really, I think there was some standard of that. But right now, I think too much of social media, too much of internet has also messed up people's focus on what the movie is saying.
Right.
And somehow we also lost the game when we completely removed the villages from films. There was a film called Nadiya Ke Paar,
Yeah.
which was made into Hum Aapke Hai Kaun.
Right.
Same story.
Right.
Same story. It was transported into a very rich family.
Correct. Correct.
So when you remove that, you are actually like, first, say I have not seen that village and I have never seen that film. I will think everything is like that. Look at the Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. What was it? It was promoting as if everything is beautiful. We are not talking about the pain of the people.
Correct.
Right? That disconnect started post 90s liberalization. When you remove the villages from the reality of the country or any country from film, there starts a sort of dissociation of the people. So now I understand movie is also for entertainment. You forget about everything, go watch, and actually many people, many producers, even directors ask you to keep your brain at home and come and watch this film.
Right.
If that is what you are doing, you are not doing a justice to the society. Every literary art form, I'm not saying I will never believe in art for art's sake. Every literary art form, everything emanates from the society's reality. What did Charles Dickens write? Charles Dickens wrote Great Expectation that was based on the societal reality, Anna Karenina.
Yeah.
Right? For that matter, look at Amrita Pritam. I'm talking about Prem Chand, Munshi Prem Chand.
Yeah.
They have written about the society of that time.
Yeah.
So that kept the people connected. They wrote the first history of the society before the journalists did. Now, neither the books are writing the first history. There are books people are not reading. There is something people are discussing now which is called second screen syndrome. In a sense, I'm talking to you and I'm also looking at the mobile. So I'm watching the film and looking at the mobile. If you just see yourself also, rarely do we put the phone shut.
Right.
So we are now in that space where we don't have any attention span. At the same time, the movies are removing us from the reality. See, and everything need not be only negative. Mother India was a beautiful film. Guide was a beautiful film. In spite of having it slipping into the reality. I'm not talking about something which is very depressive. But those films are now continuously people are visiting it. I don't remember most of the films which are coming up right now because of it. But the sad part is even on the OTT platforms when good films are coming, very rarely people watch. Very rarely people watch. And then there is something called hate watching too. Because you didn't like one Nepo kid, so you go watching. And the streaming platform is only counting hits.
Yeah.
And then there's people are repeated. We are in a very fake syndrome. I'm a very positive person. I believe this is not going to continue for long. Till then, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm holding my breath.
Yeah.
So I'm going into Scandinavian films more than this because of this.
And nowadays, like many real stories are being made. It has been made for the past 5-8 years. But so, do you think like it has given lessons and has given a real change in society by showing some good real stories?
See, real story also is making it from what perspective, for whom. Every story has 360-degree dimension.
Right.
From which perspective you are making, whom you are trying to please. Because see, you have to understand this is an industry. They are looking out for profit. Nothing else. Social responsibility comes later on. That was what was being done by NFDC once upon a time. NFDC financed a lot of good films to serve this purpose of social responsibility. That's gone. Now it's completely whoever wants whatever money and then the promotion and everything, we all know what is happening. So real story, I remember one movie made by this I forgot his name. He made a film on a mountaineering, a child who was
Nawazuddin Siddiqui started.
no, that's the mountain man was different. Even that. How many people watched it? It's a lovely film talking about resilience.
Right.
But how many people watched it?
Correct.
Yeah. So yes, the change can be made, but people do not. People, I don't know. I cannot blame people per se. We have changed the taste of the people. I am feeding you continuously one sort of a tea, and then I am complaining I don't drink milk. It will not work.
Right.
So we have messed up with that sensitivity. I think it will come back. But yes, good movies can make a mark. Maybe people will go back to it. And we have a very nice tendency. You know, this film came way ahead of time.
Correct.
When it is a failure, then we talk about it.
Right.
No? So this is how it is happening.
And do you believe that what you are saying? So are the film industry is undergoing this massive change currently? So talking about the in terms of VFX, in terms of storytelling, and we have AI nowadays,
Hmm.
which is very I don't know it is dangerous or safer, but it is there. So because it is undergoing massive changes in terms of AI. So what's one trend in cinema that you look where AI can help in the industry?
See, I am not knowledgeable about how AI can help the media industry, film industry, but I know how AI can help in our industry. Uh, we can do a lot of research very fast, and we can also create certain. I have seen a friend of mine who was showing me how AI can help in creating storyboard or something like that. In those matters, but I'm also worried that in that process a lot of jobs will be lost too. Yeah, so but AI is dependent on the data available in the internet.
Right.
So it's still learning, but it might go ahead. There might be good things. It depends on the person who is using it too. So it's a very sometimes I get very worried. Sometimes I feel no, we can still do certain things because AI apps also are having something called I think it's like red flag. They also watch what people are searching for and they stop that information. So yeah, we're still transitioning and trying to find out. Technology, you have to remember, is actually for the benefit of the people, but most of the time we let the technology be like what atom bomb was. It was nuclear power, which can give you power at the same time it can kill.
Right.
So it depends on who is handling it. So yeah, I'm a positive person, so I'm trying to find out.
Why I asked you this question because I think sometime before I saw a movie trailer, so which shows that it is purely being based on purely being made through AI.
Yeah, yeah,
You have
yeah, it's happening.
no actor, no photographer, no cinematographer. It was purely AI and no actors also.
But I know what I have heard from Bodhi as well. The director has very minute requirements, which AI cannot. A good director has very minute requirements. AI cannot meet that. It is very minute. So a good director will not allow AI to completely dictate. He might use it for his research, for his storyboard or something like that. He will not allow it. These are every technology when it starts, there are certain flukes which happen. People try. Like, again, I can make some movie trailer on the, but I don't have a story.
Yeah, we have ChatGPT and Gemini.
It's all free. So many platforms are free. You can do so many things on it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that creativity can be. I am very firm about it. The creativity cannot be duplicated like this. The creativity will still, because Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
You cannot mimic Christopher Nolan only. You can mimic only on the basis of what he has already done. But he will do something else in his next film. You cannot do that.
Right.
You cannot. No AI can do that.
Yeah. That is something. This is where I can say human one and AI zero.
I
So, ma'am, the other day I was watching one of your interviews. It was a podcast.
Hmm.
Someone took, and the topic was on feminism. So, I wanted to know, like, is feminism just a trend in Bollywood now, or is it really making an impact?
See, in my podcast also I told something that feminism has been appropriated by capitalism,
Uh,
because of which we have lost the real target.
hmm,
Basic feminism is equality, equality of everything.
correct.
That doesn't mean that I want to lift like you, I want to lift 100 kgs. Few people are doing it because they are planned, but and neither am I asking you to give birth to a child.
Yeah.
What I am talking about pay parity, equal opportunity to get a job, right? And these are the main crux of feminism. If you achieve this, rest will follow. But it has become very frivolous. And that is why I'm a little bit worried about the movement, because without the understanding of the people who are practicing feminism, they have also succumbed to capitalism, which has appropriated feminism.
Yeah.
You know? So it's all about Women's Day, which all about Diamond is a girl's best friend, about anniversaries, about not cooking. We made a film called Key and Car. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kareena Kapoor and Vishnu Dutta.
Absolutely stupid way of looking at feminism. It is not so. Just because, and I don't want to be man. I want to be me.
Yeah, correct.
But most of the time, feminism is like, I want to be the man. So, dumping down a man, saying bad things about him, or giving no importance, which the man has been doing, and because of that, I am protesting.
Right.
You are mimicking patriarchy. You are not a feminist. So, all these things, market, films, a lot of things make it has made it frivolous. But there are few voices, same voices, Tilotoma Show, and such thoughtful actors are raising those issues. And I think we are reaching somewhere, and those issues have to be discussed thoroughly. We have got feminism very wrong.
Correct. Correct. Even you talked about the pay parity thing. So, like, recently we have news about one of the famous directors and
Yeah, yeah.
actress having a conflict about the pay parity. So, like, what's your opinion on this?
Let's say it about the director and the fiasco better, because yeah, because I personally don't want to go into it at all, because just because you have social media doesn't mean you clean your dirty linen all in the out all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think social media has also messed up our brain, thinking that what can be talked about and discussed both the ways, both the parties. I'm not blaming one. Both the parties. There is no necessity of doing all these things. Another very bad thing which is happening is the PR.
Yeah. Yeah.
That PR is messing up everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Other artists might not be actually interested in that, but already the PR has started doing it. So grow up, kids. They're kids. They should grow up. That's it. That's not.
Right. Right. And when talking about the women that you mentioned, so for the past decade, if I name actors like Kanna Rana, Alia Bhatt, so they are choosing woman-centric movies, where they are talking specifically about women, or they have done something unique and given better for the society. So, like, do you think these kind of movies should be made at least 3 4 movies a year?
See, I cannot dictate the numbers, because again the producer is the king right now. But if you make such movies, then a continuous discussion will be generated, which is very healthy and very important.
Right.
So definitely, but again, it should not be like Queen was a beautiful film,
Yeah.
which Kalpana had, and so many of Alia Bhatt. But just for the sake of making, nobody should make it. The story should have the empathy, the clarity. When it was really well written, again, the storyteller, who is more important than Kangana Ranaut or Alia Bhatt.
Right.
So such stories needs to be promoted for a healthier discussion in the society, which can lead to better acceptance of female in the society. Forget about actor, actress, or whatever. And then also look at the a girl as a human being. So yeah, it is very important to have such well-written stories being made. But who will dictate the producers,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in your 30 years of experience in journalism and this academic thing, so how have you seen the industry evolve? Like, have you seen any changes that has given a major boost to the journalism or like an academic?
I am worried about the industry right now. Very worried because it has become content, no journalism. Most of the things are already available. That you go, one of the persons will say that you monitor the social media pages and find out stories. You'll see the Instagram stories become story in the newspapers. So that's not journalism. The real journalism which was required to report from the ground level, bringing out the stories like for the last more than a week, we are dealing under no electricity, continuous rain, right? And I don't know what will happen next. Only a few shots, but nobody is talking to the people at the ground level. So that was journalism, which is completely missing. It's all social media feed and journalism. So I'm posting, say I post a video on my Instagram page, that will be picked up by one newspaper channel and see, we saw this, this is what is happening. You are not talking about why this is happening. So, because it is very convenient not to talk. Because you don't have to find out solutions. I'm not saying that a journalist can find out solutions, but the journalist can lead the way towards solution. So discourse on that issue. But no journalist to abhi to koi reporter, there is no reporter in the world right now. It's all armchair journalism. Either they are shouting at the camera or they are writing something. Yeah, a few websites are doing excellent job, but who bothers? Let's go to RR, let's go to Pushpa, forget about these things. Why saying so much of negative things? Please be positive.
Yeah.
What's the cost of whom? That's nobody is asking. And as a democratic country with democratic values, we need to talk about those people. Right? It's the crux, it's the essence of democracy.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about journalism per se.
And like, do you think, what do you think the biggest misconceptions that people have about journalism nowadays?
It's all about presentation. It's almost like you are on television, you are a journalist. I'm sorry, these are performers. They are not journalists. Journalism, misconception of journalism is many, but out of that, we don't understand journalism a journalist needs to have in-depth knowledge about the area that person is working on. Most of the time, the newspapers, the channels are not giving them time to go into in-depth of any story. So it just breaks the news. So in that sense, we are breaking journalism altogether.
So it's like how influencers are acting in movies.
Yeah, same way. You need to. I think we are, because this, before, when television came, people used to say, "Oh, this generation is going to the dogs because they are watching television only." No, at that time we were watching together. Now it's the mobile. I'm watching alone. You don't know what I'm watching. And thanks to the internet, if I watch something, they will throw that same through the algorithm, same sort of content. You go deep into the rabbit hole. So in that space, our attention span is gone. We don't want to talk about the issues in depth, And we think that if we talk or critique something, oh, you are negative. So in that space, I think we have lost the focus of what is the objective of democracy is all about.
Right, right. This month, like what you said, so talking about the influencer thing. So I recently the Tom Cruise Mission Impossible screening held, and I saw many influencers who have nothing to do with acting or cinema or anything. They are going and they are getting that privilege to represent India. But do you think like it is justified?
No, it's not at all. No, 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 not at all. That's not
Big
justified.
brands are still sponsoring it, and this is
Yeah, see, I think the advertising agencies are getting everything wrong. They were so smart. I don't know where they have lost it. They were so smart. They have lost it. Do you think an influencer can sell a Tom Cruise film? Hmm? Actually, Tom Cruise is selling her or him.
yeah,
Hmm? That frivolousness they have. And and I think advertising and PR agencies have lost everything. They don't understand what is happening right now.
even with the film festival thing, people are
We're talking about Cannes.
yeah,
All of them are on the red carpet. We all know what is that red carpet.
yeah,
We all know. It's all sponsored.
right,
Right?
right,
Not a single influencer could talk about a film. Okay, go. Talk about a film. What's up, film? Where is it? You didn't. But people like us, the real people who I regard myself as the real people who are watching films, their least interest. I was watching Neeraj Devan's interview, I was watching Payal Kapadia's interview. Why would I watch all those stupid people? I'm sorry, I should not be using that word. But I also feel pity for them, because they also have a shelf life. I'm not naming the influencers. Few of the influencers are nowhere to be found right now, who are quite doing great work with great promotion few months, 1 year back, are nowhere to be seen.
right,
They also know that insecurity is there, so they are amassing whatever they can.
yeah, right,
Relevance is something. See, when you are depending on social media to keep you relevant, you will definitely lose it one day, because people are moving on.
I think this is something we have to focus as an industry. We have to focus that giving chances more to the real actors rather than giving only influencers.
Yeah, again, the producer and the director, I know directors who wanted someone else, but there has been pressure from producers that take someone else. This is a part of, corruption, this sort of thing is there in every sector of this country, everywhere.
That is very true.
So yeah, I think we cannot go at least people like us who are laymen. My kids are we have no connection in the film industry. So I'm sure they will do it, they will have to struggle, but they are ready for the struggle.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. But till then, I feel pity for the people who are doing such frivolous work. Because forget about my kids. I want to watch film. I don't see a single good film in Bollywood right now. One or two. Recently, one has come, but I stay in a place where there is no cinema hall, so I have to wait for the release of the film on the platforms. Yeah.
All right. So we have come at the end of our session. So we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Wow. Yeah.
Please answer well.
Let's see.
So
Fingers crossed.
yeah. So number one is a recent film that made you emotional.
Adolescence.
Adolescence.
Not a film, but web series, but I call it a film only. Adolescence made me very emotional.
Vicky Kaushal or Ranveer Kapoor is the most versatile actor today.
Oh, Vicky.
Vicky.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he was brilliant in Chava also.
He's good. He's good. Undoubted.
Okay. So Rana in Emergency or Alia Patil Razi.
Raji, of course, Raji is a brilliant film. And then whoever is there in Raji is good enough for me. If Kangana was there, it would have, I would not have, it's not Kangana or Alia, it's the film. Raji was brilliant.
Right. The story is powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, so one recent performance by a young actor that gave you like goosebumps.
It's not recent, but I really like Vishal Zetha.
Vishal.
Zetha, his Madani was absolutely beautiful. And he stayed with me for a long time, till now. Very young and very impressive.
A movie character that you wish you could have interviewed as a journalist, like when you a movie character that you wish you could have interviewed as a journalist.
As a journalist, interviewing a movie character would be
Like how Dabbar in Sholay or like like that.
Buddhism Sholay, so I would be very scared of. But I would love to have interviewed Irfan Khan in P2.
It's fun when people that's so good. And so like if your life were a movie, what would be the title? What would you call it?
If my life would have been a movie, what would be my other title?
Yeah.
Still Finding.
Sorry?
Still Findings.
Still finding. That's great. Okay. So Yash Chopra romance or Sanjay Leela Bhansali drama?
I used to love Yash Chopra romance, and I'm not very sure about Sanjay Leela Bhansali as well. But I love the grandeur, the color, and all those things of Sanjay Leela Bhansali. But yeah, Yash Chopra's conclusions were a little bit difficult, but I love the romance.
So Yash Chopra is.
Yeah, Yash Chopra, I think.
Books or movies? Books or movies?
Both.
Books.
Yeah, both.
Fasting. So the biopic that you want to see in the coming years, one biopic.
One biopic that I would like to see is Christopher Nolan's.
Christopher Nolan's. Okay. That is. I think I would be personally waiting for it. So like one actor you would love to see your son to work with from the Bollywood.
I would love him, of course, Irfan is no longer there, but I would love him to work with Adarsh Gaurav. Adarsh Gaurav.
Adarsh Gaurav. Yeah, I think from the Superboys of Malayalam.
Yeah.
I think he's a brilliant actor.
Yeah.
Okay. So last movie you watched and loved.
Last movie I watched and loved. Recently, I watched a very brilliant movie. Now it went off my head because I am continuously watching on Netflix. Yeah, because I haven't had the chance to watch films on big screens as we don't have any screens here. So last I watched, I like Barbie and Oppenheimer both. Those were the last films I had watched. I like Oppenheimer and Barbie both different ways. Yeah.
Both were good.
Yeah, different ways.
And both released at the same time.
Yeah, same time. One after another we watched.
Okay, so last one, a movie that you watched more than 5 times.
More than 5 times I have watched Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah. I think that is and in Bollywood.
And of course Sholay too. Sholay too more than 10 times I think. Yes.
Yeah, I think many people have watched more than 10, 20, 50 times. I don't know how much.
Yeah. I also did that. Yeah.
All right. So one last question. First of all, thank you so much. It's really an inspiring session. I think your passion for films and your journey in media really shine through, and I'm sure that our audience, our Bollywood Explorer, they will love this interview and they will get to know the insights from it. Any final movie or recommendation that you would like to tell for our viewers?
See, I would love everyone to watch this mini series. It's not a series, mini docu series. It's called Bad Influence. the dark world of kids. I think it's really every parent should watch it. Every parent and every potential parent who wants their children to be social media hit should watch it. Absolutely important thing for a series for right now.
Very interesting. Okay. Okay. And my personal question, one, so there are two questions. So one is any dialogue that have stayed with you.
Yes, I say not. Writer Bob Gupta has stays with me after I watch Super Boys of Maliga. Yeah, that is one film everybody should watch. Super Boys of Maliga. And on movie you have Barun Grover's Kiss. It just launched. Such films you should watch. And you should Jafar Panahi's film should be watched. So there are many things to be watched. So one dialogue was that, another was a long time back. I read the book and also watched the film, the love story, the original Eric Segal's love story. There is no sorry or thank you between friends. So that is one thing that I still repeat.
Okay. All right, ma'am. So thank you so much. And yeah, any book like recommendation of books? Any two books, two novels that you.
So right now,
What is the current book that you are reading?
oh, I'm just now reading, this one. At home, I'm reading something else, and here I'm reading this one. The Assam, the Accord and Discord.
Okay.
Assam, the Accord and Discord. Yeah. So this is what I'm reading. At home, I just burden of history is something I have just picked up at home.
Okay. All right. All right. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this session. And also, I would extend an invitation, to your son also.
Someday, yeah.
Come for an interview. I think we can have a special episode where you and him, can both come and we can, talk about your journey and your son's journey. And
Definitely.
we can have it.
Yeah, maybe, definitely. Maybe someday. Definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your.
Most welcome. Most welcome. It was a pleasure to really connect with you.
Thank you so much.
And all the best to the entire Bollywood Explorer. Yeah.
Thank you so much.